Hello and welcome to Library Connection. I'm Mandy Cantrell, Youth Services Director at the B.B. Comer Memorial Library. I want to thank you for joining us here today and want to especially thank TV47 for allowing us to put on this program and helping us to get everything rolling and working so you can find out what's going on at the library. Today, I want you to listen for just a minute before I tell you who our guest is. Oh, how fun, how fun. That was great. William MacGavin is MacGavin. Let me see if I say that correctly. He's joining me from Didgeridoo Down Under. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, he has just performed at the library, our summer reading kickoff program today. And we had a great crowd and they loved it. It was awesome. So yeah.
It was totally great.
Well, thank you for being here. Tell us about Didgeridoo Down Under, and am I even saying that correctly?
Yes. Didgeridoo Down Under is a program. It's a musical, educational, and motivational program that is centered around the didgeridoo. The didgeridoo is a musical instrument that originally comes from Australia, although it is played all around the world. And I'm a didgeridoo maker. I've been making and playing didgeridoo since I was a young kid. So that was about the age of a lot of the kids in the audience, 10 years old.
Yes.
Started playing it when I was 8, when my sister got one from a friend in Australia. And over the years, you know, I've played it some more, made some more, studied some more, and started doing this Didgeridoo Down Under program to bring to libraries, schools, museums, all sorts of venues all over the nation. And I do that with several partners. Didgeridoo Down Under has 7 performers that, you know, we're all over the country at any point in time. So.
Wow. The program was awesome this morning. I so enjoyed it. Okay, you said it comes from, this one's from Australia? Or
no, this one's not.
Originally is from Australia.
The instrument was originally made and played by the Aboriginal people of Australia. You know, they're part of the world's most ancient culture. The Aboriginal people have been around for over 40,000 years. This instrument very well could be the world's oldest instrument, and they're traditionally made from termite-hollowed eucalyptus trees. But the one I have here today is made from a yucca flower that grows here in this country, out in the desert where I come from.
Oh, okay. So tell us where you're from. We'll lead right into that.
Okay. I'm originally from a place called Temecula, California. They grow a lot of grapes there. It's in Southern California, north of San Diego. And it's also on the edge of the desert. And so when I was a kid, I started learning people in this country were making didgeridoos out of yucca flowers, and I was, you know, enthralled. So I knew what the flower was and went out on treks out into the desert and went and harvested some flowers once the, you know, flowers had died because they're an annual. They go to seed, dry up, and then I'd harvest them at that point. Make them into didgeridoos like you see here today. This one, the painting on it was done by a good friend of mine. Her name's Sydney Gruber. She's a artist here in Alabama, and she's an artist in residence at the Kentuck Art Center, and they host the Kentuck Arts Festival, which I'm actually at every year. So.
This is absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Do these mean?
So this one is just kind of, I'd say, a beautiful painting. In the Aboriginal culture, the paintings on the instruments actually tell stories, and these stories would tell about their history, about the animals and environment of Australia.
Wow.
And so it's with great respect for the Aboriginal people that I make my instruments and I share this program with people all over our country because, you know, they're a beautiful, wonderful culture, and we're also grateful to be able to celebrate their culture today.
We learned a lot about that today at the library. I mean, you played the instruments, but you talked about Australia, about the animals. You talked about the people who, you know, and their respect for them out of what they've done, and it was just really, it was a history lesson, sort of, or I don't know what to say. You talked a lot about protecting the environment because of the things that you use. And it was just really awesome. I think our kids enjoyed the show because it was fun, very interactive, but they also learned a lot too. It was neat.
Yeah, I try to cover so much in the program, you know, like you said, There's an environmentalism, there's science, there's history, there's music. There's just a wide curriculum, and it adapts to whatever audience there is. There's just so many facets you can cover using this instrument.
Right.
It's really much more than a simple tube, which a lot of people, put it down to. So,
Right.
but it's
A lot of different sizes.
a lot of different sizes. They come in all shapes, sizes, materials, lengths. It's kind of undefined, actually, and that's kind of one of the beautiful things about it. It's almost like exploring the different shapes, and different musicality and all of it, and one of the reasons why it's my favorite instrument.
Oh, that's neat. So you make these and sell them, and you have a website, is that right?
I do have a website. It's called MacGavin Woodworks, like my last name, Woodworks, and I'm based in Birmingham, so kind of local to y'all here in Sylacauga.
Yes.
And I make instruments and sell them to people all over the world. I'm online, so you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and I have an Etsy page where I access my web store. So if you wanted to get one, that's where you would find me.
How did you get from California to Alabama?
So when I was a younger kid in high school, I started, applying to colleges, and I applied to the University of Alabama, Roll Tide, and
War Eagle, sorry, got to throw that in.
respect.
Go ahead, no, go ahead, that's great.
And I went to the university and I studied architectural engineering while I was there, and so I learned a lot of science, math, and how to solve problems with that. And I made a class for myself using the engineering concepts that I learned through this program at UA called New College, and made an independent study in Didgeridoo sound design, and learned a unique way of tuning the instruments to play musical scales without, slides, valves, keys, any mechanical things I didn't use. And so that was kind of a novel way of doing it that I was able to achieve while I was at the university. And I bring it, those concepts, acoustic, science, math, physics, down to people of all ages during the shows in very tangible ways.
That was neat. I was glad you were able to share that too with the students, because so many of the students now are, these are younger, but they're still thinking about what they want to do, and this is fun. But yet, a lot of knowledge behind it, a lot of math, a lot of science, engineering, musical, everything tied into that. So it's really awesome.
Take STEAM, adds the art to it, and you got STEAM.
Right, yeah, STEM and add the art, that's great, yeah. Well, listen, we're going to pause for a commercial break and come right back and talk some more with William.
Hot under the collar because your basement is full of water? Call a local company you can trust. Ox Foundation Solutions. We use the most advanced water management system to stop water from invading your basement for good. Things feeling a little uneven at home? Ox Foundation Solutions will fix your uneven concrete sidewalk, driveway, or basement in no time. Ox Foundation Solutions has the best plan to keep your home safe. If you are experiencing any issues with your sidewalks, basement, crawl space, or foundation, get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
Coosa Valley Medical Center, one of the top 10 hospitals in Alabama, is also Sylacauga's largest employer. Services from the emergency room to surgery to cancer treatment to post-stroke care. You won't believe what's right in your backyard. It's Coosa Valley Medical Center in Sylacauga. So, if you're sick in Alabama, choose one of the top 10 hospitals in Alabama. That is Coosa Valley Medical Center.
Marble City Pharmacy in Sylacauga is your destination for the highest quality health care. Our knowledgeable pharmacists are always available for questions about your medications or advice on taking over-the-counter products and supplements. Our friendly staff can assist you in choosing from our full lines of compression hose and medical equipment. And don't forget our gift department. We have a great selection of unique gifts for every occasion. Stop by and see us today. Marble City Pharmacy, here for life.
I'm Mandy Cantrell. I'm sorry, I'm just waiting on you to play, I think. I'm Mandy Cantrell with Library Connection. I'm talking with William MacGavin from Didgeridoo Down Under. He's going to play a little bit for us. That was so fun. Now, I like the jumping. We did a lot of that today. Kangaroos jumping and waves and the heat rising. And
Kookaburras.
the kookaburra. Yes, that was so fun. Oh, that was fun. The kids love that, and we love it when there's, when we can stand up and do something too. So, and now they've learned a little bit too, I think. Tell us some more. I know what your program is like for kids or for libraries, what you did for us. What other type programs do you do at Didgeridoo Down Under?
So at DDU, we have, the program, which covers a whole lot, super high energy, a lot of audience interaction. We already talked about a bit of that. There's also a workshop we offer called the Aussie Funk Jam. And so basically that is we bring in a bunch of didgeridoos and incorporate a lot of the education that goes into the performances, and then also teach everyone how to play didgeridoo throughout it. Do some call and response. Everyone gets to express themselves, learn some things, and really put a lot into the workshops and get a lot out of it too. And so it kind of works as a team building exercise. And this is for kids, adults, teens, corporate events. We've been to, retirement communities. Didgeridoo Down Under covers a lot. All audiences,
ages,
all ages. And then also for people that are looking for just more of a concert, a couple of our performers will go into colleges or people that, don't want as much of an interactive show as much as they want to, more so wanting to see a concert.
Right,
and so
entertainment.
yeah, we also have more just musically driven shows. So
That is nice.
yeah, it's kind of tailored to whatever audience there is or whatever program you have. So if you want to bring us on out, you can go to didgeridoodown.com, check us out, and we'd be happy to come out to wherever you are.
Great. I know you just bring it up. There's a picture. There you are. didgeridoodown.com. This must be a school program, I think.
That was actually
or
a library program.
Or library, yeah.
I think that was in Johnson City, Tennessee last year.
Great. So it's not just you and one thing right here. It's lots of didgeridoos. I see one that's curved there. We'll talk about that in a minute. That was neat. Yeah, and you have a lot of posters and things. You talk about get the kids to repeat after you. Keeping them involved in the program was great. They helped hold their attention to it because we've got some young ones in the program. So
Oh yeah.
I enjoy it.
Engagement is really important. It's like you got energy. Everyone's let out their energy. Then we come together, have some education. Back to the energy. Back to the education. It's a roller coaster.
Right. Well, let me ask you now. I know you didn't just pick one of these up and play it right away. Did you? How did you learn to play the didgeridoo?
How I learned to play it, a lot of it was trial and error. First started making weird sounds. I personally, never took a band class in school. Never took a music theory class. This was the first instrument I took seriously. Although I play many different instruments. My parents exposed me to a lot of instruments. I play the ukulele, drums, various flutes and stuff. But the didgeridoo, there's just something about it that just feels right. It felt right from the moment I played it. And so I was a kid. I was 8 years old at the time, and started learning. I saw YouTube videos on the internet of maybe some lessons. And then I started learning from some teachers that were out in California where I grew up. Two of my teachers were Mike Gomez-Micus and William Thorne. I actually got to see them this weekend. It was pretty great. And and then I learned so much from actually teaching with people, learning what perspectives people have on the instrument, whether they're kids or adults. Everyone has a unique thing they have. Individuality and diversity teaches me a lot. So.
Right, and I like there. I mean, there are no valves. There's no mouthpiece. Really, I mean,
there's
I guess
mouthpiece, but
I guess
there's no mechanical elements. All the music behind it comes from the breath. It comes from all the things you use to breathe and speak. And controlling those and learning how to express them through this tube and kind of create sounds, percussive sounds, melodic sounds, and just kind of entertaining sounds.
That's neat. Now I know we have a video, I believe, of you playing at an event. That is so neat. Okay, I love that. Now, you said you found that piece of wood floating down the Cahaba River that made that didgeridoo.
Yeah, it was a sycamore trunk, or maybe a big branch that was floating around while I was just sitting there on one day, and I grabbed it and brought it home and made a didgeridoo out of it, and went back there and made that video. So it was
That
kind
is
of
neat.
full circle.
And your dog there, she enjoys it?
She loves didgeridoo. She loves the water.
Oh, how fun, how fun. That looked very relaxing, and I know you talked about it helps, I mean, you can meditate or just relax playing it or listening to it, and it helps with sleep apnea. Is that what you're snoring?
Yeah, a lot of doctors have done research on how playing and doing this process of circular breathing, where you're constantly breathing out and in. Doing that strengthens the muscles in your back of your throat and your respiratory system that, when they're weak, causes sleep apnea and snoring. But playing the didgeridoo helps with that.
Well, that makes perfect sense. I never thought about that. We're going to pause for a commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Hot under the collar because your basement is full of water? Call a local company you can trust. Ox Foundation Solutions. We use the most advanced water management system to stop water from invading your basement for good. Things feeling a little uneven at home? Ox Foundation Solutions will fix your uneven concrete sidewalk, driveway, or basement in no time. Ox Foundation Solutions has the best plan to keep your home safe. If you are experiencing any issues with your sidewalks, basement, crawl space, or foundation, get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
Coosa Valley Medical Center, one of the top 10 hospitals in Alabama, is also Silicaga's largest employer. Services from the emergency room to surgery to cancer treatment to post-stroke care. You won't believe what's right in your backyard. It's Coosa Valley Medical Center in Silicaga. So, if you're sick in Alabama, choose one of the top 10 hospitals in Alabama. That is Coosa Valley Medical Center.
Marble City Pharmacy in Silicaga is your destination for the highest quality health care. Our knowledgeable pharmacists are always available for questions about your medications or advice on taking over-the-counter products and supplements. Our friendly staff can assist you in choosing from our full lines of compression hose and medical equipment. And don't forget our gift department. We have a great selection of unique gifts for every occasion. Stop by and see us today. Marble City Pharmacy, here for life.
Welcome back to Library Connection. I'm Mandy Cantrell. I'm talking with William MacGavin from Didgeridoo Down Under. He just performed at the library for us. Great show, great performance. It was wonderful. And you're going to be in some other places at other libraries around, I know, in the area.
Yep. This week you could actually, tomorrow you could catch me at the Pelham Library, Pelham, Alabama. Opelika on Wednesday, Vestavia Hills on Thursday, and then next week I'll be in Red Bay, Hamilton, Double Springs, Fayette, Winfield, Waynesboro, Ellisville, Tuscumbia. I'll be all over it, and you can find the schedule at didgedownunder.com.
That is a busy week, a busy 2 weeks, a busy summer, I know. Now, our summer theme is a universe of stories. How does DDU tie into that summer theme?
So, a universe of stories is very broad. Could really mean anything. But so how I tie in a universe of stories through Didgeridoo Down Under is I talk about how the stories of the instrument were originally used to talk about the animals and environment from Australia.
Yes, that was great.
And then I also incorporate the overall national theme of just the space element of a universe of stories through science. In an experience I had while I was a student, I got to help with some research at NASA, and I helped do some analysis of the launch platform that NASA is going to use to send a rocket to the moon and hopefully to Mars one day. And I was able to do that through an experience I had a year before, where I learned how to tune didgeridoos using a complex type of acoustical analysis. And in the program, I tie in didgeridoo acoustics and rocket science acoustics, and just kind of in an encouraging way to tell people to ask questions, be curious, and to read, to find books, ask librarians how to answer these questions. And I guess that's how I tie it in with the universe of stories, is in an encouraging, educational, motivational way.
I was very excited to hear you tie NASA with music. I mean, with acoustics and music. That was a really interesting story. I know you told.
Yeah.
Just because of your knowledge of acoustics with these, you were able to, and your background in math and science, I know all that ties in too. You were able to put those together.
Yeah, it was. I had literally no idea what happened. It was totally
wow,
crazy.
I wouldn't have guessed that, but that's neat. It's great.
Yeah.
So you've had a lot of different experiences. That's wonderful.
Yeah. I definitely have.
Good. Well, you said you make these. Do you get all the wood? I know you don't find all the wood floating down the Cahaba. Some of it.
So overall, my general life philosophies are very environmental. I'd consider myself an environmentalist, and I try to express that through didgeridoo making, through respecting the materials I work with. If I am working with a tree, I will get a storm-felled log, or maybe one that's been floating down the river, one that had to be cleared for some reason. I won't go cut down a living tree myself. The yucca flowers I harvest after they have already died, and keep them from rotting, preserve them. Another thing I talk about in the performances is how I get to work with my favorite material is Christmas trees. To talk about how I recycle them into didgeridoos rather than letting them get thrown into a dump or burned or thrown into a lake. So.
And then you play Jingle Bells.
And I play Jingle Bells on the didgeridoo.
That was so fun. That was fun. Yeah. So you just get wood from a lot of different places, just wherever you find it.
Yeah.
And I know there's more to it than just hollow it out. It's got to be more to it than that.
Yeah. It is a hollow tube by nature. You might be able to see through right there. And the tuning of it is all based on geometry, which I go through in the show and back to the universe of stories and acoustics and all that. So I make them out of a wide variety of materials, and I explain them all during the show and explain how they're originally made too, out of termite hollowed eucalyptus trees. And just kind of to share my experience with the audience.
Right. I know you told the kids you put fire.
Flamethrowers. I use fire, which fire is not a toy. It is a tool, and it should be respected and used safely every time anybody uses fire. And so what I do is for the yucca flowers or the Christmas trees, what I do is actually drill a long hole through the material, and then I set the inside on fire using a torch, and then I blow through it, and that spreads the flames. The whole thing kind of starts opening up, and then what I do from there is sand it out. I put sand in it to put out the fire, then I sand it out, make a mouthpiece out of wood. I'm a woodworker. And then seal the inside and outside. So that's kind of how they're made. And like I said, originally they were made from termite hollowed eucalyptus trees, and they were more so found already hollow and then just kind of worked with from there.
About how long does it take to make one? Or it just depends.
It does depend on the material. It depends how much work I want to put into it. But
how much time you have, I'm sure.
It can range from 5 to 50 hours.
Okay. I know you had one that was not straight. It had a curve in it. And I just kept thinking, how in the world did you hollow that out?
Oh, yeah, I left that up for the imaginations of the audience. But yeah, you can kind of see it in that photo. What I did, it's an agave flower that grew out in the desert, and it grew like that. It was naturally like that when I found it. I think a storm blew it over and then it corrected itself. But how I hollowed it out is I split it in half along the grains of the agave flower stalk, and then hollowed it out and glued it back together in kind of a seamless way. So.
Hey, oh, wow, that's neat. Now, you said you have friends all around the world that play the same thing. Do y'all get together sometimes and play?
Yeah, actually, I hosted a Southern Didgeridoo festival called Deep South Didge Fest this past weekend. It was a total blast. People came from all over the country to come learn, to come play didgeridoos, to kind of, build community and connections, respect the environment, and eat. And so it was a great shindig. We only got rained out a little bit.
Oh no, yes.
But the sun came out. We got kind of blessed with weather, but all over the world there's didgeridoo gatherings, festivals, and they're pretty amazing things. I'll actually be the MC host for one, and the longest running one in the country, called Indigenous in Oregon, this August. So.
And you're taking shows to Oregon there also.
Yeah, there's going to be Didgeridoo Down Under shows in Oregon all over the country this summer.
That's great.
And you can find that schedule at didgedownunder.com.
Yes, yes. That's fun. I know that. I know y'all have fun when you get together. And you said you can tune them, so y'all could actually play a song, I guess, or...
Yeah, I'd love to make like a didgeridoo orchestra, get a bunch of people in different keys, and be like bum 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 ba-da-na-na-na-na-na, and just have like a whole composition. It'd be great.
Oh, that would be so fun. You even said you can play two at once.
Yeah, if I put one on this side of my mouth and this one on the other, I can do that. I did not bring another one with me. They're back at the library, but it is possible.
Oh, gosh.
And
that's neat.
Might do it in a DDU show summer, so you should come on out if you want to see that.
That would be great. Gosh. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We've got a few more minutes.
What's next at your library?
At the library tomorrow, story time, and then Wednesday we're having Science Tellers, another group, science and storytelling matched together. So from you, we got music and we got some stories and we got some history and all of that. So it'll be great. So I hope you can join us there. We've got probably 45 seconds or so. Can you play just a little bit for us as we sign off? And thank you for joining us on Library Connection, and thank you, William.